If you go one more time, you get a round of applause. Robert John is definitely one of those who make things happen, and he has been for quite some time for all of us at the World Igbo Congress, and we're always happy to have it. What we have now on this panel would be a reaction. The way we have this program structured is to listen to Professor Joano, and I hope you were taking notes. Then we will ask those questions to members of the panel. This is a highly esteemed panel. Professor Onyanwa is a professor of mathematics. He's been teaching for quite some time. Dr. Musu is also an esteemed educator who has been training children for more than 17 to 20 years. And of course, our big sister, of course, the chairwoman of the Women Affairs Committee, Attorney Mrs. Abamwo. In addition to being a mother who has raised successful children who excelled in education, is also an esteemed educator in her own right. So what I would expect actually is for us to, from the litany of issues articulated from Professor John, we can fill those questions or address those questions to members of the panelists, unless if you want them to come in on their own. So does anybody have any question for the panel, please? Yes, sir. You just identify yourself and ask the question.
Dr. Daniel, my question is, Professor John has talked about the facilities and materials needed for education. Of course, we have the bid to the students. What are we going to do to encourage the teachers? Because I remember that I'm what I am because of some of the teachers that taught me.
The question is, what do we do to encourage the teachers, I believe? Is it the teachers here or the teachers at home?
The teachers at home. I mean, we can go there and help. You know, what we need is the teachers at home.
Thank you so much for asking that question. It's one of the things in my mind about teachers' morale. Most of our teachers at home they are not motivated because they are not paid. Most of them are not paid on time. Imagine a classroom where you get into a classroom and find out that the teacher is not there. The teacher will write something on the board and then move out for her trading in the market. That is not what we expect teachers to do. Teachers are supposed to be there for the children from the moment they get into the classroom to the end of the day. But the opposite is the case. One, they are not properly paid. Two, they don't have that motivation. And secondly, they are not even receiving any services, what we call professional development. Most schools in Nigeria or Igbo land do not have professional development. I was talking with my friend who is a director in the Ministry of Federal Ministry of Education. I was rubbing mind with her, asking her how many times a year do they give their teachers training, in-service training, or what we call professional development. And she said most of the time money is voted for it, but they never see the money, and eventually they don't give the development the teachers require. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, sorry. These are the problems that I have in mind in those articulated. What do we do about solving those problems?
Well, it still goes back to getting the government to be involved and getting from the rank, the person who is at the head. Most of us don't have the, we lack what we call commitment. We lack commitment in our various fields, various jobs, various establishments. If people who are put on the trust take up their job, take up their duty as they're supposed to do it, this problem will not arise. So it's still going back to the government, talking to them, getting them to do their work, getting them to get the money, the funding. Last 2 months I was talking with a contemporary who is from the north. His name is Baba Oman. And he was telling me that he has prepared a packet he wants to take to Nigeria. That when he thinks about Nigerian education, it makes his heart to break. And for that reason, he is going to Nigeria to talk to the president to see if they can reenact or reinvent the UPE, Universal Primary Education, and then see how they can send people from here to go to Nigeria and try and bring up the teachers, because teachers are half-baked. They don't have it. You cannot give what you don't have. Most of the teachers don't have that information to give to children. They're not even prepared, they're not ready. And for that reason, it continues to drain our educational system.
Thank you.
Mara, I'm glad you asked that question. I was trained in Nigeria as a box Catholic college owner before I came to the United States. But first of all, we have to take our own responsibility. The question becomes, in each of our community, how many of us have tried to form parent students association? I did one at home, in my own village. We have to encourage our teachers by showing them that we care. More importantly, at the end of every school year, parents have to together and also tell the teachers thank you for educating our kids. Even if suffering matters a lot. But by doing that, also we have to take an improvement from ourselves to ask those who are responsible for government. Because the attitude we have is, I don't care. Those who are those representing us, if we are responsible for ourselves and make sure, work with what you Congress and take responsibility in all the certain zones, Anambra, Imo, say, hey, this is a responsibility. Go to the state government, meet the Commission of Education, look at their program, and also so we have to partner with you guys. Like my sister rightfully stated, professional development, etc. Every now and then in the United States, every year, we always have professional development. Keep on retraining, keep on re-engineering our people. I think that will get more. We have our own responsibility to take care of it. Thank you.
Yes, Reverend.
There is something that appears to be, I won't say lacking, but I can say not emphasized sufficiently, both in the great, wonderful talk given by Professor Asheron and in the answers that appear to be emerging, and that is the moral aspect of the education. If we go, and I make it a form of a question because this is not a lecture hall, if we go through the archives, we see that what made the pre-Civil War education so strong was the moral upbringing of the teachers that they now transmitted to their children and the pupils. If you come to the United States and Europe, it was that moral aspect of life that they now put in the form of law and regulations, and things work. Even if we get billions of naira or dollars and pay each teacher trillions of naira, I can tell you the decadence in education will continue unless that moral aspect, which was destroyed, starting from the Igbo land, that's what the problem is, starting from the governor of the time. And once it was destroyed, to bring it up became a problem. What can we do?
There are stories of professors who exchanged sex for grades. There are stories about professors who use their teaching profession actually as a secondary engagement when they actually go there and do their private business. Now, let me direct this question to Dr. Mosu. The question articulated by Father Biola, of course, is how do we inject, what do we do about this moral imperative that seems to be lacking in our educational system?
Thank you, Bishop. A couple of years ago, President Bush had this bill, and it was voted for, and the law was passed that says no child left behind. And that goes for the United States of America. Now, let's get back to Nigeria. Professor Jalano said what he said. I mean, everybody heard what he said about the government. For us to take education seriously in Nigeria, it has to come from our federal government. We have to have something like No Child Left Behind. And under No Child Left Behind Act of the United States, no child of age 4 years old and above should stay home without getting proper education. If you're a parent and if you want to train your own child that is 4 years old, you have to register with the Board of Education. Somehow you get a stipend so you can train the child at home, which is called home instruction or home tutoring, which some parents opt out to do. In the United States, you cannot leave any child at home without getting proper education. And now the teachers, the educators in short, coming from the school superintendent to the Board of Education, which is comprises of the community leaders, to the classroom supervisors. Everyone has to take their job seriously. Now, if the school fails, or if they decide to leave a child behind, coming from the test scores, now the superintendent will have a problem, the principal will have a problem, the school supervisors, the mentors will have a problem, because every year we get new teachers in public schools, and I'm a mentor. So we mentor new teachers first. We mentor the partnership with the new teachers to teach them what it takes to become a classroom teacher. You see, you may have a PhD in education, but when it comes to classroom, it's a different education altogether. You have to learn your classroom management, and no one will do it for you. The supervisor will not manage your classroom. Because if I walk through your classroom and it is being destructive, if I stop the kids from misbehaving today, once I turn my back, the kids will take advantage of the fact that you don't know what you're doing. So, now, from the government, the president takes education seriously because his own children have to attend public school, not private school. Now, the governors, children have to attend public school, not private school. The local government share people, children have to attend public school. Then it trickles down to the local women in the village, who will gain from the fact that the teachers that are being put in the classroom are well trained, and there's something called monitoring. If you do not monitor teachers, they will do what they want to do. I know they're not well paid, they're not getting paid, or they don't get paid all the time, but you have to be committed to be an educator. You see, I have a criminal justice background. I have a master's degree in investigation. When I went into teaching, it took a lot. I have to start all over. Because teaching is a call. It has nothing to do with my investigative background. So for you to teach, you have to be committed to teach. If you do not teach, it's not like, okay, I understand one day I went to church and my pastor, Father Anselm, said something like, some Nigerians will come here at age 60, they want to be nurses, men, women. How can you be a nurse when you're not trained, when you not want to be a nurse? You have to be a nurse from the day you turn, let's say you turn 15, and you say to yourself, I want to be a healer. You cannot be a teacher without getting properly trained. There has to be accountability. There has to be monitoring. You may not get paid, but once you are committed to train someone's child, you have children in the classroom who have to take the test. If the children take the WAEC or whatever test they're taking now, if the test scores come out and the school is doing poorly, the school needs to be shut down. The teachers need to be trained. The principals have to be transferred or get trained. The children have to be bussed around from failing school to successful schools. You cannot leave the redundancy and claim it does not bother you or those are not my children. So for education in Nigeria to work, people have to be committed. The president has to be committed. The president's children have to go to public school, just like here in the United States, because we watch them. That's why sometimes they open up charter schools around the corner. However, charter school is a branch of public school. The teachers have to be certified. They have to be monitored. In Nigeria, private schools are not being monitored. Everybody does what they want to do. Monitoring is in public school, and public school system in America, the public school children are the ones who get the best computers. They're the ones that get the smart board in the classrooms where the kids will interact with the teachers one-on-one electronically. They're the ones that get the best textbooks. Every other school year we get new textbooks. But in Nigeria, nobody cares. The president's children could go to any private school. He could open up his own school and nobody cares. So we're going to have to come up with some plan. We're going to have to take responsibility. So next time when you vote for your president or your congressman or whatever they call them in Nigeria, you say to them, how can you take education seriously? What do we do with our failing education? We have to start comparing test scores. We have to use that as part of the criteria or yardstick to measure their performance. I'm talking about the presidents. When Bush enacted No Child Left Behind, I'm sorry, I'm taking them off. You see, when educators, you give us 1 minute, we just start talking and market sense. So when Bush enacted No Child Left Behind, a lot of Democrats did not like it. But we enjoy it now. Most educators did not like it, but the teachers, we joined the union who were rushing and crying foul. But it does work. When you have children, you know that No Child Left Behind Act is for you and me. So Nigeria has to come up with a plan to involve everyone into the educational system, including the parents. Because under No Child Left Behind Act, there's a section for parents to get involved. They have to give in X number of hours every month to the children, the community school, for it to work. Because we all will get together and have a joint meeting and plan on how the school will be successful. Because when the school fails, the parent has the right to ask questions. When they have a parent meeting, they have the right to ask the principal or point to the superintendent's place and say to him, how come my little Johnny scored 40%, who lives in Newark? Why little Humphrey, who lives in Livingston, scored 80%? What is the difference? Yes, some kids may be poor. However, we have a way of balancing things. So that's America for you. Nigeria we have to take a stand. World Igbo Congress, individual organizations, your hometown organizations, state associations, we all have to get involved and get them to get involved. I mean, those that are in Nigeria. Thank you.